Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rage, and we are back today with our monthly gold update video here. If you guys haven't followed along before, I've been doing this ever since November of last year to really understand the gold economy of the game, how it's been trending with all the new releases, events, and so forth. What I've also done for this monthly version of starting July now is I've added in the training materials component, so that way we can understand how that is also trending in the game and whether or not that's improving from a month-to-month perspective. But at the end of the day, with all these different events, it is good to get a sense of how the gold has been added. And true to what Marvel Strike Force has said, the gold actually has been increasing month over month. So now it's time to take a look at July. How did we end up with this month, and how are we looking now for materials since the start of July? So first and foremost, this is the format that I used for the last half of a year here, which is essentially how it started, right? When we took a look at what we ended up in November, which was 4.5 million gold, we ended up with 45.7 by the time December came around. And also factoring in things like the war rewards and as well as how much spending, that gives us really an understanding of how much we actually spent, how much the gold balance in our account went up, and giving us that true cost as well in terms of gold spending. So you can see, very simple example here. When we stay true to the 2.77 gold per day from the golden opportunity milestone, we were able to generate actually 137 million in gold. That also increased our balance by 54 million, as you can see with the differentials there. But because now these videos are getting longer and longer, I did want to summarize this in a more digestible manner. So this is the old format, and I do want to bring to you now the new format, so that way we can take a look at more information with less to go over. So you can see this is the Q1 of 2024 recap, summarizing how much gold was actually earned versus the red, which is the spending in our account. Now, the reason I wanted to separate it into quarters is because it's easier to view, but also understand. This is actually when I was still spending about 2.7 gold million per day. So you can see here in January and February, the gold spending was actually quite low. Like even in January, it was less than 100 million. And then finally it started picking up in February, because I believe that's when Black Knight came around. So we need to spend a little bit more for him. In addition to, I think the Hive Mind also came out. So we need to actually spend a little bit more. And that's why you do see the spending go up quite a bit. And then lastly, March, we finally picked things up because we started using more gold in the golden opportunity, as you can see, but also tied back to the fact that the gold economy has been getting stronger. 125 million-ish in January, close to 150 million gold generated in February, and then finally close to 175 million gold generated in March. So it's been tracking higher and higher. And as we know, kind of with life and with things going on, if you have more income, if you have more gold, you can spend a bit more. So as you can see in the very bottom, even though our spending increased quite a bit, it was tied back to the gold coming into our account as well. So our gold balance actually still went up 33 million in January, 23 million in February, and 28 million respectively in March. So overall, gold economy got better. Spending also increased for investments into teams and characters like Black Knight when his infusion in the game came. And then at the same time, our gold balance actually also improved. So that was really welcome news. Now, I do want to pivot over here to the next quarter and quarter two, which is all the way from April to June. And there was a big shift here. You can see finally our gold balance reserve finally started going down. Although our gold actually stayed relatively the same as the previous months, our spending increased because I decided finally that there's too much going on with Dark Dimension 7 preparation. And remember, Dark Dimension 7 Crimson Gear started coming into the fold in March. So I started spending actually a max of 6 million gold per day. And as you can see, that's why the spending is quite fixed. We were close to that 180 million mark in April, same with May, and then as well even more of an uptick in June because of some investments. I also want to point out at the very bottom, guys, my gold balance finally started dipping down. In April, we were at a negative 12 million. We were negative 22 in May. And then we are also finally back up in June, plus 20, because, in June, we actually got some really good things. We had the Mercs for Money Blitz events that came out. And there was also an extra war reward that came out that put us over. But overall, I was very pleased with this because compared to the shift from Q1, it looked like more gold was still coming into the game, and our spending actually went up because we need to invest in more of the meta tunes. Crimson Gear, like I said, is a really big thing now, and I think the developers recognize that, hence why they started adding a lot more gold, and we finished very, very strong, especially in June, netting actually over 200 million in gold and almost matching our expenditure, which was 210. So this was a very promising update. I was worried that the gold balance would keep going down, but instead it was finally turning around a corner after that strong Q1. This now leads us into the month of July, and I decided to switch back to the old format to keep it simple, but as well to better see the details of the in and out, right? Just as a quick recap, guys, June 30th, we ended our gold balance at 132 million gold, and we ended up in July 31st with 203 million. That is a net differential of 71 million gold being added, an increase from our previous balance. But keep in mind, that doesn't dictate how much was actually spent. We used the golden opportunity milestone, and we maxed out every single day for 6 million, which translates to the 186 million. So when you put all that together, excluding what was given to us in the compensation the Envoy Cosmic Crucible tournament and the pool party bonus stuff, we actually ended up with close to 250 million gold, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely bonkers. And for those of you that are interested in how we came to some of these amounts too, there were some compensations and so forth. I actually made a video on how we actually earned 75 million gold in 1 week from everything. So I'm going to link that below, so that way you guys can better understand where some of these sources of gold come from, because that's not really the intention of this video. It's more so to highlight the sentiment and the gold economy strength. But guys, this is insane. This is once again historic. We thought June was insane. Well, this is the most gold that's ever come into our account in a monthly perspective, and it seems to be going up. Our spending actually stayed a little flatter because I actually did not invest in any Dark Dimension 7 investments for this month, so that's why we stayed pretty flat at 186. We didn't need to go over it just because I'm kind of in a holding pattern right now for that. But yeah, bonkers, guys. Our gold balance went up by 70 million. Even though our gold spending was at 186, we earned over 240 million in gold, and I hope this honestly continues. It's really welcome news for the economy, for the game, and as well as players that just honestly need gold to invest in characters. So August 2024 coming. We saw June show us 224 million, and then finally July 248. Does this mean that we're going to keep getting a ramp up here of gold? Hopefully. Typically, the past averages have been that 140 to 150 million gold. So just, take that with a word of caution. We'll see how this trend's continuing. Hopefully they're watching maybe my videos and seeing how strong it is and keep it going, because that's pretty awesome. But overall, guys, this has been the general rule, which is if you're spending between 5 to 6 million gold, your gold supply should be going up. And it's going to give you that pivoting space for Dark Dimension 7, Dark Dimension 8, and as well as keeping an eye out for new teams like the Annihilators. Overall, our economy right now for gold anyways is very, very strong. Which is why I want to pivot real quickly here to the training materials update. And again, there's not that much information because this was actually an idea that was brought up in my previous video. So I do want to start tracking this, but you can see on July 1st, these are the respective training materials I had on my account. And then I took a screenshot of it on July 31st. And as you can see, we actually did dip a little bit in the green materials because I usually use that as a way to top up to make sure that I hit that 6 million gold. And then finally, you can see some big upgrades here and increases to the blue, purple, and as well as orange training materials, actually resulting in a 4.82 increase. So I'm going to be tracking this going forward just to see how we're trending. But yeah, overall, guys, materials are going up, my gold's going up, everything's good. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Hopefully this was insightful for you to understand where we are right now in the game for gold and training materials, and I definitely do plan on expanding this once I have more information. But again, this gives us at least a snapshot now, and finally a starting point of how we're going to be analyzing training materials. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.